Greetings and welcome to another curriculum calendar tutorial. My name is Brian Waddy. It's great to have you here. So I want to show you how to get started. So you will have either gone to my website or gotten an email from an administrator or something to that effect and have gotten a hyperlink to a curriculum map template. And this template will already have been linked to the school's calendar, and you don't have editing privileges yet of this template. So what you're going to do, step one, is go to File and Make a Copy. All right, make a copy. And you'll want to end up naming this something like, for instance, I have Accelerated Geometry. I might want to specify that this is going to be a fall of 16 course, and I could even specify what period that it's meeting. Let's say it's meeting during block 2, something to that effect. If you wanted, you could even throw your name on it or something like that. But you're going to want to have these uniquely named because you might be teaching multiple sections of accelerated geometry or multiple semesters, a new version of it, but the same content. So you're going to want something that's going to recognize it, and so you'll hit OK, and you can move it to a location that's going to be helpful to you. So you'll end up probably wanting to move it immediately to a folder where you'll either keep all of your curriculum maps or a folder for this particular course on your Google Drive. So you can do organize, and then you can move this item. Yeah, and then if I do my drive and adoption, all sorts of stuff, I'm going to go to school BUHS, and maybe I'll throw it in this geometry folder or something to that effect. Okay, so you're going to make a copy of this, and now you own this. This is you have editing privileges over this, and one of the first things I'll recommend you do is that you hit File and Share, and you're going to want to make this shareable. Not editable, but shareable. If you have co-teachers that you want to make so that they can edit it as well, you could enter their email address and they could edit it. But you want everyone with the link to be able to view it so that your students, their parents, right, maybe your administrators, if you're like, hey, I want you to see what I'm about to do, or you want to post this link to a website, or you want to embed part of this spreadsheet onto a website, you need to have this be a shareable, viewable document, so you can then copy that link later and hit done. So the first thing you're going to want to do is set up your document, and down here below is all of the tabs, multiple things going on, and so we're going to click on the orange setup tab, and you can actually copy and paste this document's link right here. It doesn't necessarily do anything yet. You could enter the course name. You can copy and paste this link. So if I copy this up here, I'm hitting Control C. You can also right-click copy and right-click paste, or you hit Control V to paste it. Copy this document's link here. That can then be sent back and used later on by other documents. Say, like if I have a student version that's viewing multiple teachers' spreadsheets simultaneously, we would end up needing that link. The master link will hopefully already be entered in for you. And this master link, all it does is pull from the master calendar for your school, where it's getting the information for when the holidays are, when it's a half day, when there's a teacher workshop, when town meeting day is, that it pulls all of that information and kind of has that all taken care of. And once you have that master link in, which like I said, it should already have been done for you, then you can start entering and changing these pull-down tabs. This little triangle is a pull-down tab where you can pick what days does my course meet. So this is kind of a day selector. So maybe your course meets every day. So if you have A and B days, purple and white days, whatever days you're doing, you can have that. You could do purple days only, white days only, or A days, B days, whatever your school calls them. Those will all be customizable headings. I can also do things like only on Fridays, or only on Mondays and Fridays, or only what about when the PLC teams meet, or the leadership team meets, or when department meetings are. When faculty meetings are, which is like the first Monday of the month when there's school, or Tuesday of the month. Whatever the case is, these are all customizable depending on your school. So you're going to want to select, let's say my class meets on purple and white days, and now, so that's a day selector. And now I want to select what time during that day does it happen. And so if I select here, I pull this down. In this case, this is for Brattleboro. There's block 1, block 2, block 3 with 3 lunches, so the lunch matters. And block 4, there's also an ACE block. There's periods, in case your class meets only during certain periods. I even have meetings for after-school meetings. If you were to use this to coordinate your department meetings or something like that, you could do that. So you're going to select a block that your class meets. You're going to select a year that it's meeting, and chances are 2016, 2017 is what you're going to be doing here. And then even what semester. So mine meets every day and only for one semester. You could do both semesters. If it's, say it's a meet every other day class, you could do just semester 2. So this is all going to vary. Standards I haven't done too much yet, but yeah, these ones are all incomplete. But if you want to incorporate an import of the standards tab down here, I can actually have it import automatically the Common Core state standards, as long as someone right from the department's been willing to like edit that on the master document. Here it just now shows what the first day of your course is, the last day, the remaining days, and even like percent complete, things like that. Let's see, as far as show activity durations, I like yes. I'll show you what that does on the rolling calendar. That just shows the time in parentheses on the rolling calendar there. And then this is the setup for your rolling calendar. This, it might actually make sense for us to change in a moment once we edit kind of our columns. But you want to do your basic setup, and that's kind of right here. What days does my class meet? When during those days does my class meet? And by the way, this software also takes into account if it's a shortened day or a different schedule. If block 2 meets at a different time and someone edits that on the master calendar, it will automatically change the time for everyone using this software. So it's pretty great in that sense. So before we go and change these, we're going to want to go from the setup tab now to the details tab, and this is where you edit the meat of your course. Okay, and so here I actually have I was going to edit some information for my math department meetings. I recommend for days, I'll probably even have this just be ones kind of all the way down for a while, but you can just delete these as you need to. And you're going to want to edit your columns here. So do not edit anything that is gray here, okay? So actually I believe if I even try to edit this, well, okay, it will end up breaking the formulas for one, okay? And on your version that I'll share with you, it'll actually come up with an error and say, you don't want to do this. And if you do it, I have a way to fix it. I'll even show you later how you could fix it on your own. But you don't edit the gray cells, okay? But as far as columns, if you want to track standards, so for instance, since I imported the math standards, so AREI.3, and then it actually automatically looks up the standard here, like so. Also, I like to have all my text kind of fit in one row, but I know English teachers or other language teachers have preferred different. So if you want to select your whole sheet, so that way it's not being truncated and cut off there, you can select your whole sheet. And if you go up here, text wrapping, you can have it wrap to a new line. Yeah, so here it's yelling at me, hey, you can't edit this. That's okay, I can edit this. And notice that it actually wraps the text to a new line in case you want to have it fit all of that. I feel like it just ends up taking up too much space doing that, so I've always been a fan of just kind of having it clip if need be, or overflow if the cell adjacent to it is empty, if you like that. So yeah, so that way I can kind of just quickly edit this, and if I want to see what the whole thing says, I can, well, actually in this case it's a formula, never mind. Typically the objective is something you might want to edit, and you can change the width of these cells. It's not going to change anything. So so if this is accelerated geometry, I might have introductions as kind of being the first thing that I do. You know, maybe and then points, lines, and planes is maybe what my next class is. And sometimes I actually like leaving a blank row here, and what I would do is just delete the 1 for the number of days for the lesson. If I want to kind of have, like, you know, each chapter kind of broken up with just a blank line, you can delete these number of days that the lesson takes, and it'll just automatically skip it. And then yeah, so if you want classwork, homework, side quest, maybe you're someone that likes using Khan Academy resources. You might not always have them, but you can make your own. You want to customize your own thing. Maybe you want so for instance here it's my math department teachers to share ideas, but yeah, we're gonna have all sorts of crazy information in here, but you'll edit your own information, it'll be fine. So for shared ideas, that was what I was going to do with the math department. But let's say you want to come up with, say, old text book page. And so if points, lines, and planes, maybe let's say it starts on page 13 on my old textbook. Or let's say this is, maybe I'll be more specific. Blue geometry text. And what would the value of tracking another book's page number for where that lesson is taught? Well, if you ever have additional time or additional practice problems you're looking for, right, you could immediately find out what that is, or right, you could even label it 1.1 points, or whatever it is in that book, so you can actually have multiple resources all together. Also, here I have articles, so you're going to want to go through and just kind of have a general idea of what are the main things I want to track as far as resources. Okay, that's what these first columns are. Google surveys, Common Core state standards. I'll just delete this column. And yeah, you can delete columns, you can insert columns. So I'm doing that by right-clicking, insert one left, insert one right, delete column. And all of these, you can change the names to whatever you want, right? So however you end up teaching your classroom, that's what you'll want to do. Eventually, you're going to come to these one time, one activity, two time, two activity. These cells you should not edit, okay? The titles of those cells. Let me actually delete the contents of them for right now. Those are going to end up showing up in your kind of minute-to-minute agenda for each day. You might not even want to fill that out your first time teaching a course. You might I'm just going to use this to fill out, the real basics as far as the objective, what the homework is, maybe where a classwork assignment is. Homework is going to be page 31, 1 to 15 odd or whatever. Right, you can track that information and kind of do all that. But then every year you teach the course, maybe the next time you teach points, lines, and planes, you're going to want to hyperlink a lesson plan in there, where you can link out to a different Google Doc, all sorts of different things you might have. But in general, for your first setup, you're just going to want to pick your column names in general, and you can, like I said, add more later. Okay, so so that's what you end up wanting to do your very first time setting up. And now I just wrote dent placement. No, whatever. Nonetheless, so that's what you do to start setting it up. And now you're going to go through and start planning out your course. So let's, and like I said, I might delete some of these. So so you might do lesson 1, lesson 2, right? Raise. Maybe you have angles coming up. And so what I would typically do is for each row have one lesson or 1 day's worth of content. If points, lines, and planes is going to take up a couple days, you might even put part 1 and part 2 if you end up needing that space. But you want to have in general one row per day, so that if, say, points, lines, and planes part 1 that's the homework assignment, maybe the homework assignment the next day is this, 16 to 31 odd, or sorry, 17 to 31 odd, right? You might want to have a different day, a different assignment for that day. So you don't want to have it all compact into one if you want to track multiple resources and things like that. And so all you're going to want to do, say over the summer, if you want to pre-plan, is just kind of go through and say, okay, I want to take 1 day for this, 1 day for that. Maybe I'll have a quiz this day, quiz 01, points, lines, planes, right? Whatever the case may be. And then later on, I might have a review day, and then the test. And then, like I said, I like to leave a blank line, and you can have as many blanks as you want. It's going to be fine. And then maybe on one of those blank lines, you could even bold it and say, oops, here we go, bold it and say chapter 2 or something like that. I can't recall what chapter 2 is in geometry books. It's been about 8 years since I taught geometry. But yeah, so you can add a title slot there, and then you just kind of go through and write what your lesson objective is for each of those days. Now, if you want to say add hyperlinks to anything like Khan Academy, you can do that using this hyperlink button. Okay, insert hyperlink. So maybe for the text on this, is that showing up funny? It looked like that was showing up funny. Yeah, it's offset. Let me scroll over here. Insert hyperlink button right here. You can also just hit Control K. There we go. So the text, I might say Khan points, lines, planes, and then let's actually tell you what, khanacademy.org. Let's do a search for points, lines, planes. Tell you what. Bam, there we go. And so if there's a resource that I want to link to or whatever I have, so here it looks like this is that's an exercise, planes in 3 dimensions. Boy, well, let's just say this is the resource that I wanted to link to. This is an exercise in this case, but I'm going to select the hyperlink, hit Control C or copy by right click copy, and then if I go back to my resource, oh, I already lost my thing. I'd paste that link here, right click paste or hit Control V, and then I could give that text Khan point, or maybe I'd even say Khan exercise planes or something like that. And if I hit apply, what I would end up having is the text that I said shows up, but the hyperlink is available there. Okay, and so now the benefit of this, because this view is a little bit cumbersome, it's not the prettiest that's here, but I would kind of go through and just fill out the skeleton of this to begin with, and it should automatically be skipping weekends. Notice there's no Saturday or Sunday. There's no, oh, hey, it's automatically skipping Labor Day. That everything's all set. And let's say, oh no, there's this extra, school-wide assembly that we didn't have, or there's going to be a math, like an extra day is going to be spent, and oh, it's going to throw off all my lesson plans. If I throw a 1 here and say there's like a math department assembly, let's have all the math students get together, and that's going to take up a whole day. I didn't lose all of my work on planning my lesson, and now it's just saying, oh, that's just going to be the next day. It automatically skipped it, right? That it just automatically accommodates for that, and I don't lose any of my work. And if I don't like that, it'll automatically skip back. So what's cool is this will just jump around and automatically update the days no matter what I'm doing, and I can just kind of have the skeletal structure here. And so that's what I'd recommend. So start by just kind of outlining your chapters. Hopefully, you kind of know roughly how many days you'll spend on each topic. And do it like so. And the benefit of this is now if I click on Rolling Calendar, which is kind of the front runner tab that I have, so when someone first opens the document, a student or parent first views this is what they see. And notice this is what we got. Oh, let's go. Oh, my bad. I forgot. We changed our column names. Let's click on Setup. And so the Rolling Calendar has some customizable slots. I'm going to have the objective displayed first. I'm going to have the standard displayed. Let's see, let's have, and all of these names are actually from the things that we edited earlier. I want the classwork down here, maybe I want the homework, and let's say a Khan Academy resource, or oh, maybe that blue geometry textbook, as far as where that was taught. And so these are all customizable, and now on the rolling calendar, you'll see that these titles are what show up here: objective, standard, classwork, homework, blue geometry, textbook. And what it does is it automatically pulls. So there's my objective title from earlier. There was my homework, and look at there. I have this information. Oh, there's the homework for day 2 of 84 of the course. Here's the times that we're meeting and everything like that. And so so this is kind of now the view that students will have. Oh, there's day 3 of the course, and it just kind of automatically counts through them. It skips, like I said, weekends and holidays. And it's just going to show them a friendlier view of this and kind of just the information that you want them to have. And let's see, do we even have that Khan Academy video? No, I didn't. If I go to setup, that's right. If I go to setup and I say, oh, let's show the Khan Academy. I think I spelled Academy wrong. Whatever. And go to rolling calendar. Now notice the bottom view, the bottom cells are Khan Academy, and oh, here's that Khan Academy exercise on points, lines, and planes, and the hyperlink is still live. I realize the text isn't blue. I'm sorry if that bothers you, but a student could still click on that and view that here and get to that same page, which is great. And if a student, so this rolling calendar, by the way, always shows the previous class and the upcoming classes. But if a student wanted to look further ahead, they can click on your details view and they could scroll down and see, oh, what's day 72 of the course going to be, roughly, right? They're not going to hold you accountable to it. Don't let them. Or they could just view, day to day, or what's the previous, what was last night's homework is the question they usually have. I also do have like a next week or a this week view or a week of view. So for instance, if week of view you wanted to kind of pull up, oh, what's Monday the 5th? What's that week look like? Well, there's no class Monday. Oh, we're going to do a quiz Tuesday. There are other ways that you can view the same information if you like, but typically these first two tabs are the ones that you're going to be spending all of your time in. And this is a great way to kind of have students stay up to speed with your course. Like I said, if you share with them the link, your shareable link, whether on your website or wherever, you email all your students and parents. You can do whatever you want, copy and paste that link and send it to them. When they open the document, this is what they'll view, and they'll get the most up-to-date information for your course. They'll know exactly what's going on. They'll be able to click on your resources that you've shared with them, and all of that's available for them. So that's the general idea. That's pretty much what you're going to be doing most of the time. I'll create some additional tutorial videos so you can kind of get some specifics there. But yeah, there you go. Hopefully that explains what you need to know.